So if you're reading a story and you see lots of I, lots of me, lots of we being used, then you know it's a first person. If you see lots of they or them or he or she, or they use people's names a lot, then you know it's a third person story. So we're going to take a look at this story here, and we're going to listen to it pretty carefully. Thank you, Miss Fuller, for putting them in the chat so we can go back and double check them. We're going to listen to this story here, and while they're reading the story, I want you to keep your eye out for those key words, and I want you to see if you can figure out, is this a first person point of view or a third person point of view? Since we're going to go ahead and watch the video, everyone needs to make sure that we have our microphones off, that we have our cameras off, so we can all hear and see the video clearly. So let's all make sure we have our cameras off. Let's all make sure we have our microphones off. Bradley, Jada, Nakai, can you turn your cameras off, please? That way we can all see and we can all hear the video nice and clear. All right, so this story is called 10 Rules Absolutely Must Not Break If You Want to Survive the School Bus. Kind of a long title, but I like this story. It's a good one. Nakai, make sure we turn off our camera so we can all see the video, sir. So far, just in the chat box, tell me what you think about his brother's rules. Do you think so far he's giving them good rules or bad rules? Just in the chat box, go ahead and let me know. What do you think? These rules that his brother is telling him, are they good rules or are they bad rules? Ooh, that's an interesting answer. I like it. Good and bad. Nakai, camera off, please, sir. You know what we have to do when we're watching videos. You to pay attention to instructions, please. Okay. I think you all have pretty good ideas about this. The one thing that I thought, and I still think is kind of confusing, is like when his brother tells him, "Don't get there early. Don't get there late." Like I think that one's kind of a confusing rule that he tells him, not to get there early, but not to get there late. Like it has to be perfect. Okay. What about his experience here with a dog? Have any of you, those of you who take the bus, have any of you had to like walk past any houses and they have dogs and they go out and they start barking really loud? Yeah, dogs like to protect their houses. So when you walk by and they don't recognize you, yeah, they sometimes will go and start barking. Oh, sometimes we're the ones that have the dogs and they might bark at people that are walking by to go and take the bus. You don't have to raise your hand, Bradley. You can just put it into the chat box. And let's see if they give us a reason. Why didn't he take the front row of seats? Why didn't he sit there? I like what he says here. He says he felt like a zebra at a lion party. That's a very, very good, that's a very good simile. They felt like a zebra at a lion party. How do you think he's feeling? What do you think he means? When he says he feels like a zebra at a lion party, what is he trying to tell us? You can go ahead and just type it in the chat box too, Violet. Oh, he's the prey. Very good use of your words, Christopher. I love that. He's the prey. Okay, scared. I think that's a good guess for how he's feeling. Scared. I think we could also say maybe nervous. Nervous might be a good word to describe how he's feeling. Look at all these rules he has. Rule number 1, don't sit in the front row. Rule number 2, don't sit in the last row. Rule number 3, don't stand out. So he's having to worry about all of these different rules that he's either breaking or not breaking. Let's see, he said he broke another rule. See what the rule is. Before we finish reading this page, look at all these rules that he's gotten through. 7 of them now. Earlier, I asked you all whether you thought these were good rules or bad rules, but I want to hear from you again. What do you think now? Now that we've heard more of these rules, do you think these are good rules or bad rules? Go ahead and tell me in the chat box. What do you think? Good rules or bad rules? Okay, I see one person say that they're not fair rules. I agree. I think some of them are very unfair. Okay, let's see about this new rule. Never talk to girls. Let's see why that's a rule. Maybe he'll tell us. So I think now that we've seen more of the rules, I agree with some of you that these rules aren't very fair and some of them are kind of mean. I like Bella's idea. some of these rules, if he follows all of them, I don't think it'd be very easy for him to make any new friends. I don't think because of that, I don't think that these rules are very good. But look at that list he gives us. He broke rule 1, rule 3, rule 6, rule 8, and rule 9. There's a lot of these rules for getting on the bus that his brother told him. But I wanted to stop on this page because I really liked his description here. There were thousands of them. Do you really think there were 1,000 buses or more than 1,000 buses at his school? No, probably not. That's hyperbole. He's exaggerating. He feels like there's 1,000 or more than 1,000 because he doesn't know which one is his yet. Not used to seeing the number or which bus is his. But I like what he says next as well. It was a herd of identical yellow rhinos. Again, do you think his buses are really rhinos? No, but he's saying that they're big machines, big vehicles, just like rhinos are big animals. So he's comparing the buses to rhinos. Very good metaphor. So he used hyperbole and metaphor in just those two sentences. It was a great description. So was his bus driver really as like mean and scary as he thought? No, no, not at all. He asked her something, and all he had to do was ask nicely, and it was fine. And I like the description in this book. I like the way he describes his brother. He was jumping up and down like a spider monkey. So he doesn't just tell us that his brother was, he said his brother was anxious to find out what happened, but he also gives us a good image to picture in our heads. So his brother is so anxious, so excited to hear what his brother has to say. He's waiting for it and waiting for it, and he's sitting there and he's jumping up and down. So that's how excited he is. He's not just sitting there waiting for him. He's so excited he can't just sit down and wait. So take a look at his brother's face there. He says, never, absolutely never pay attention to your big brother's list of 10 rules absolutely must not break if you want to survive the school bus. If we're looking at his brother's face, how do you think his brother feels? Just go ahead and type it in the chat, JD. Tell me, how do you think his brother feels?
He got caught.
Okay. We're seeing sad, worried, disappointed, surprised, scared. Bradley said that like he got caught. Disappointed. I think Bradley was pretty close to a good one. I think he maybe feels like embarrassed because when he told him all of these rules, he sounded super sure, right? Like he was telling him, "You never ever get there early, and you never ever get there late, and you never ever talk to girls, and you never ever sit here, and you never ever do this." But his brother, like he said, he broke every single one of those rules, right? And did anything super bad happen to him? His brother kept telling him, if you break these rules, you're going to get beat up, and the bully's going to get you, and this is going to happen to you. But he broke all of them. I think maybe the brother feels like embarrassed. He sounded like he was so sure, like he knew everything. And I don't know. I think Brianna brings up a good point. Maybe the brother was trying to lie, like he was trying to tell his little brother something that makes it seem scarier than it really was. He was trying to make him scared. And I think that's possible because sometimes, especially if you have like older brothers or older sisters, sometimes they try to tell you things just to scare you, just to mess with you. But really, it's not it's not as bad or as scary as they think it is, or as they make it out to be. Yeah, so like Ezekiel said, like he proved it, right? His brother gave him these 10 rules. He broke all of the rules that his brother told him, and he didn't get beat up. He didn't, nothing bad happened. He didn't get in trouble. And so he has proof. He has proof that it's not true. Oh, you know what? Bailey's got a good point. Maybe the big brother, maybe his bus was like that. Maybe the little brother has a better bus or a better experience on the bus. Yeah, not all the time, Alexa. Just because you're the oldest doesn't mean that you have to be mean or scare your little brothers or sisters. It just happens sometimes. I know little brothers and or older brothers and sisters will do that sometimes. So sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Just depends. Okay. So, what I want you all to do is in our call here, there's a button that has a triangle, a square, and a circle. You're going to click on that. You're going to click on polls, and there's a question there for you. It says, what point of view is the story using? And you have first person and third person. I want you to go ahead and take a vote. What point of view is the story using? So open up that box. Remember the one that has the triangle, the circle, and the square. You're going to click on it, click on polls, and then go ahead and cast your vote. What point of view do you think that this story is using? Is it first person or is it third person? So go ahead and take your vote. Was this story a first person or was it a third person? Remember, you have to click that button, the one with the triangle, the square, and the circle first. And then you're going to click on polls. That way you can go ahead and take your vote. First person or third person? What kind of story do you think it was? What was the point of view? And since we're finished with the story, you can go ahead and turn your camera back on as well. Go ahead and take your vote. First person or third person? And we'll go through and we'll look for our proof for which one it was. Or I guess we'll find our proof. Wait a little bit longer for everyone to finish taking their votes, and then we'll look at how we voted, and then we'll look at what answer was correct. Okay, let's take a look. So we had most of us saying that it was first person. We have a few people saying it was third person. Here is what it was. This story was a first person point of view. The way I can tell that it's first person is if I look through, I'm going to start from the beginning. Remember, first person, you're going to see a lot of words like I, like me, like we, like our. Let's take a look at just the first page, okay? It was the first day of school, and my brother, James, was walking me to the corner where the school bus stopped. I'd never taken the bus before, and to be honest, I was a little nervous. But James was a school bus expert, and he promised to help me out. So just on that first page, we have got a lot of words like I, like me, and like my. If we go through them, we'll skip forward a little bit. His brother's talking to him, and he says, I jumped to the middle of the sidewalk. I gulped. My stomach turned over. The shows I watch on TV. I sing. He rode the bus with me. We move. I have to take the bus. So throughout the story, and even if we go later on, I thought maybe then I'd have to walk by everyone again, and I'd break. I'd been very careful. I hadn't worn my moose antlers hat or my lucky bowling shirt. So there I was. Everyone staring at me. So throughout the story, we have lots of examples of him using the words I and me and my and we. So that's how we know that this is a first person point of view story. Because I keep seeing those words pop up over and over and over again. And since they keep using those words, that's what lets me know this is a first person point of view. Our narrator, the person telling us the story, is the little boy telling us about his first day going on the bus, first day going to school. So when you're trying to figure out what the point of view is, pay close attention to how they're saying these things. If our character keeps saying I, or me, or my, it's a first person point of view. If we don't really see that happening a whole lot, if we see a lot of people's names, if we see a lot of he, or she, or anything like that, then it's a third person. But if we were careful, if we were looking really closely at the words they were using, we can tell this was a first person point.